Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to Winter of Woe guide, some of the various objectives and stuff. By the way, just to kind of like go over, I will be doing a video after this, which is going to be centered around why Winter of Woe, the first fight, is a massive L for Kabam. But this video, I just want to like focus on like getting through it and helping people out. Because that's one thing, as a lot of you know on the channel, is we'll critique stuff when it comes to Kabam, but we will try and get on with it. Because, hey, by the way, Kabam haven't said that they're going to be nerfing it, so unfortunately we've got to do it. And if you don't want to do it, of course you don't want to do it, but what I'm going to try and do in this video is try and help as much as possible. So I'm probably going to float some footage like on screen at some point. I have just done the Gamma one. Of course, I've got two others to do, which is Sinister 6, and also I've got the robot one to do. From a collection of data and information, it does seem like these on screen are some of the better options to go with. I have experimented around with the Mega Sentinel. It's okay. If I was to do a preference, I would go with an SP1 rotation with Guillotine 2099. In earlier testing with my rank 3 6-star version, it wasn't as strong as maybe I'd like. I might rank 5 that before going back in. I am sporting a rank 4 at the moment. Some experimentation with Warlock is and the same thing, Dragon Man's very Gamma wise, She-Hulk is one of the best options. The second best option is Hulk, because you can just kind of like damage the champion very easily. Petrify massively helps to suppress any healing. And of course, when it comes to Sinister 6, then you've got if you've got Despair Mastery, and as well with the just champion in general, Sandman's great. I have heard some people say that for the Gamma one, using Sasquatch with suppressing Unstoppable has been one of the better options. I don't know that to be true because I haven't seen any kind of evidence of that one. But of course, there are people out there that have done that. In any case, it's not a nice fight, and experimentation is expensive. I think it's cost me like 1.5 energy refills to test some champions out, more so with the robots, and as well trying to get the correct rotation in for Hulk. But that's another story for another video. But the main thing to say about this, the content's only been out for like, what, at the point of recording this video, like 4 hours. And we've only got 6 counters. I'd say 5. Shocker's a bit of an iffy one. I'm still trying to find a good justification that that is a good enough option. But look, it is what it is. You could try and just take the champion down with a slow debuff champion. In general, maybe, if you are looking to just kind of like do the fight once. But if you are playing into the various objectives, it kind of like you might be just best off investing in like doing it. Sadly, it might cost you revives and it might cost you health potions. I must admit as well, like just to kind of point out there, is it a bit of a rip-off for a lot of players? More than likely. Do you have to rush into it? No, you don't. So one thing that I do want to point out, even though I will try and rush into it in order to, you know, make videos and coverage and stuff like that and try and make and expand this particular infographic, I do want to point out this, which I've put in the spreadsheet, which has been updated. It's the side quest spreadsheet I'm making for this month, which is approaching and tackling the content. Because you don't need to do it right away. You have 2 weeks until it expires. And if you have 2 weeks, then you've got the option of gathering some resources to do it in the meantime. Actually, looking at I thought for some reason it's been taken down. So you've got some options in game at the moment. If you are willing to just wait 13 days, whatever it is, before kind of finishing off the quest, you can collect, which I have just now collected now, but you can collect 84 free 4-hour crystals, and these will either give you, they may give you a revive, they may give you some health potions, they may give you energy refills. You can look to reinvest that into your grind in various areas of the game, but also you can grab, in this meantime, you can actually get 29 more revives from this point onwards. How? Well, if you are willing to wait, and this is again something that we're trying to do a part 2 of like approaching this. If you're willing to wait at least 13 days, you can do on a daily basis your apothecary. You may get lucky and get 1 more level to revive. But you will get 14 revives. 14 are guaranteed revives for you at level 1. So at least it gives you 14 attempts at one or many of the objectives, depending on how many it kind of like cost you. The second thing is solo events. Between now and the day of reckoning, there are actually 15 solo events. So how does that work? Well, I think I worked out it was like 336 hours. You divide it by 22 because they're 22-hour events, blah, 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 blah. And then you get to that particular number. So there is a good chance you could have over 30 revives to take on this particular content. Yes, it's not nice spending revives. Yes, you might even spend things like units. You can minimize a lot of your expenditure into this from a revive perspective if you are willing to go and farm some units. You may like that, you may not. You may use some of the free energy refills that you're likely to pick up from these 4-hour crystals and reinvest them, because you'll be like, oh, I got energy refills, not revives. Well, that's not going to help out. Well, then I'd recommend either kind of farming through some lower content, especially when it comes to your event quest, and kind of do some of the lower ones, as I do on a monthly basis. You know, I'll just go and do some housework, have that auto fighting through, and before you know it, I've picked up the 100 and well, I wouldn't say do the full amount, because you're spending like a huge amount towards chapter 3. I would say the chapters 1 and 2, you can certainly grab a good amount of units. You could be grabbing about 120 units, and if you've got 120 units, what does that mean? Well, that's 3 times 4, that's 3 times 40, that's 3 extra revives. It all adds up. I know some people will look at it differently and just go, oh, I don't really want to do that. But it all adds up. And that extra couple of revives, 3 revives, whatever, can help you to kind of like get that extra little bit of the content down with it. I also recommend doing as many of the solo events as possible, and at least, like, you know, when you're approaching this particular content, is hoarding things when it comes to the solo crystals, mainly because when you pop them open, there's a good chance that you'll pick up some of those boosts. For me, the boosts are fantastic. Like, this is what I will save my boosts for. Obviously, I was saving them up for Necropolis, and then I had none. And what have I got in this one? Oh, brilliant, look at that. I've got 2 lesser attack boosts and 1 health boost, and that's great. I'll add that to my collection, and maybe I'll do 1 big sitting and go in, or I'll do it in little increments and go, okay, well, on week 1, I'm going to try out Sinister 6, and I've spent some there, top back up, go back in again, or I do it in 1 big sitting and go, let's put on a 40-minute one, let's put on a 15-minute one, and just go ham as much as possible to try and get it, and so that I do not touch my units as much as possible. I'd like to keep my 9k there. I did have 10k, but I did buy some of those potion and revive bundles, which are great value for free-to-play players to grab. But that really gives you an idea of approach. So this has been a bit of a kind of a part 1, part 2 of kind of going, part 1, here's some options. Part 2, of course, here is the approach for it. So just to kind of like point out, as much as, and I do agree with you, it's not great. I will be doing a full video kind of like dissecting a lot of stuff, and like at the moment I've got a ton of threads on the matter of these discussion on the matter, especially when it comes to the energy spend, which, you know, it's just so much. But I'm trying to give as many options as possible to you, still trying to look at some stuff. But there are some kind of these are the champions on screen that are the ones more commonly used even towards the left hand side. If you are feeling like you don't have any of them, then maybe look towards like lesser options. And yes, you do that method of approach by don't spend your units as much as possible. Wait a couple of weeks. Some more options may appear, and we can update the spreadsheet. But for the time being, it does suck, doesn't it? On that Viv Vision as well, I did hear some people mentioning, and did see people mentioning that doesn't seem to be a great option on rotation. I've definitely seen some kind of like calamity with that one, so that's just not been great, is it? Okay, make sure as well to hit the like button and support the channel. You know, 1 more video today, and I'm gonna then get back to kind of creating some guides. A bit of a moany type video as the next video. But yeah, that's been it. Check out the spreadsheet in the link in the description. It will be, I hope, regularly updated. It does require a lot of work and will take a lot of time and effort. But you lot are brilliant. And if you support this stuff, then I've got the time for you if you've got the time for me. Much love, everybody. Check out another load of videos on screen right now. See you soon. Bye-bye.